Alright guys, our last and final video for chapter 4 is going to be your embryonic germ layers. And these were mentioned a little bit when we were talking about connective tissue and how that connective tissues arise from your mesenchyme, which is a type of stem cell line. And so just a little bit of background on development. So we all start as a single cell called a zygote. And so when egg and sperm come together in fertilization, they form that single-celled zygote. And then obviously that zygote is going to multiply and grow and develop to become a whole human organism. And so it's kind of crazy how it all happens. And so the first thing that's going to happen is that zygote is going to undergo rapid cell cycle, mitotic cycles. It's going to copy, and 1 becomes 2, and 2 becomes 4, and 4 becomes 8, and so on and so on. And we're going to form the embryo. Now, early on, the embryo doesn't have any kind of specialized cells. They're all the same type of cells. They're just copies of that original zygote. And so these embryonic cells that we start off with are a very special type of stem cell. They have the ability to become any type of cell in the body, and we call those totipotent stem cells. And then what's going to happen is, as the cells continue to divide and they proliferate, they're going to form a hollow ball called a blastula. That blastula is going to kind of pinch in on itself, and we're going to see the formation of these 3 major cell lineage areas in the embryo, and we call them germ layers. Okay, we're going to see 3 distinct germ layers, and these 3 germ layers are going to contain cells that will become all the tissues and organs of the body. Now, if we take a look, it kind of looks something like this over here. So we had a hollow ball that kind of pinched in on itself. And so the 3 germ layers are going to be your ectoderm, your mesoderm, and your endoderm. And like we've seen over and over, these prefixes can be very helpful because ecto means outside, meso means middle, and endo means inside or inner. And so all of these tissues here are going to give rise to every specialized cell, tissue, organ system in the body. And so the ectoderm, which is on the outside, is going to give rise to the epithelial tissues of the skin. So you think about it, it's on the outside, and our skin is going to be on the outside. So this is going to form our epidermis, a type of epithelial tissue. And then the ectoderm is also responsible for the nervous system. So it's going to give rise to all of our nervous tissues. Now the mesoderm, which is in the middle, okay, think about your muscles are in the middle of your body. The mesoderm is going to give rise to your muscle tissue, your skeletal, your cardiac, and your smooth muscle. And it's also going to give rise to our connective tissue. In fact, the mesoderm is where you find that mesenchyme. And so that mesenchyme is going to give rise to all of your connective tissues, including your bones and your skeletal system, your blood, your fat, all of those types of tissues. And then the endoderm is that innermost region. If you think about the innermost portion of your body, it's going to be pretty much your digestive tract. And so it's going to form the lining of your internal organs. This is going to be an epithelial tissue that lines your digestive cavity and many of your other internal organs. And so here's kind of what it looks like as well in a different picture. You have this kind of cavity here, this hollow ball that kind of pinched in on itself, and here you have the ectoderm, or the outside. Okay, once again, it's going to form the skin and nervous system. You've got skin there, you've got nervous system there. All right, we have the mesoderm, which is going to form all those middle muscles, all those middle tissues. And then you have the endoderm, which is going to form the lining of the gut, the lining of the lungs. All right, and so from this very unspecialized little ball of cells, we're going to get all of the specialized tissues and organs that you will find in our adult body. And so match the layers. So ecto is on the outside. Okay, the ecto is what gives rise to our skin, which is going to be epithelial, as well as our nervous. All right, the mesoderm is middle. That gives rise to our muscles and connective tissues. And then the endoderm specifically gave rise to those linings, which would be epithelial. All right, that wraps up chapter 4. If you haven't already, be sure you take your post-chapter 4 quiz. And don't forget that we have a lecture test over chapters 3 and 4. Don't forget about deadlines.